Guys, congratulations on making it to the third and final week of this year's CrossFit Open. After just doing this one literally 5 minutes ago, you guys are going to want to listen to the tips and tricks that I have for you guys for this workout. But before we get into that, we're going to go over what the workout is. So it is going to be 4 reps. We got 6 rounds total. However, the weights do change every 2 rounds. So your first segment here is 2 rounds of 12 burpee over the bar, 12 cleans at weight number 1, 12 burpee over the bar, and then 12 thrusters with that same weight. You're going to do that 2 times through. Then we're going to move into the next 2 rounds where the movements stay the same. We got your 12 burpee over bar, 12 cleans, 12 burpee over bar, 12 thrusters, but that will be completed with weight number 2. And then we get to our final 2 rounds here. Same thing, 12 burpee over bar, 12 cleans, 12 burpee over bar, 12 thrusters at your third and final weight. There is a time cap today of 16 minutes. For our RX options, or weights rather, we got 65, 75, 85 in the weight increases for the ladies. For the males, it goes 95, 115, and 135. Our Masters RX, 55, 65, 75. For males, 75, 95, 115. Our scaled option today for the females is 45, 55, 65, and then for the males, 65, 85, 95. For the burpee over bar, you may step over the barbell. For our Masters scaled division, females 35, 45, 55, males 55, 75, 85. Again, you may step over that barbell. And then our foundations for today is females 25, 35, 45, and then males 45, 55, 65. Again, you're allowed to step over the bar. Oh, sorry. Your burpees are in place, not over the bar. And you do have the option of scaling back those weights further if needed. Hey guys. All right guys, so the goal for this workout is going to get deep into that second weight here. Maybe some of us are gonna have time to touch on that third weight. That is going to be our goal for this workout. For our stimulus, this is going to feel like a hard effort throughout the entire workout. So it is very important when I go over the tips and tricks that you guys strategize how you're going to approach and attack this workout. All right guys, now we're gonna go over the standards for each of the movements in the workout. First, we're gonna start with the burpee over bar. So chest and thighs must make contact on the floor with each rep. A strict lateral orientation is not required, meaning if you want to kind of angle yourself along the barbell, you can. A step in and out of the burpee is allowed, and no 2-foot takeoff is required. However, both feet must be off of the ground. So Coach Nick is going to show us a couple of good reps. So now coming on this side, you'll see chest and thighs make contact. He can step in. He can do 2 feet jump, do the hop over, or he can do that. Okay, so those would be good reps. For no reps would be chest and thighs not making contact with the floor. In RX, the step over is not allowed. And also, if at any point you make contact with the bar, let's say you trip over the bar or your foot hits the bar, that is a no rep. You do need to complete that rep again. So if you want to go on this side, so no contact. So here, this would not count because his chest is not making contact with the bar. Step over in RX is not allowed. And then if he goes to step over and hits the bar, that would be a no rep. All right guys, so standards for the clean. The barbell does need to start on the floor with each rep. However, if we are using those smaller fractional plates, the bar just has to start below the knee, does not have to make contact with the floor. For each rep to be a good rep, we need to show full hip and knee extension, and we also need to see clearly that the elbows are in front of the barbell. In addition, during the workout, you must change your own weights and have clips on the bar each time. So Coach Nick's gonna show us a couple of good reps. Full hip extension, knee extension, and then the elbows are clearly in front of the bar. Good. Couple of no reps here would be if Coach Nick lowered the barbell before he showed extension, which he's going to show in a second. Hold on. And then not bringing the elbows clearly in front of the bar. Another no rep would be if there's excessive bouncing in between each rep. So Coach Nick's gonna show us a couple of reps here that would be no reps. So he's not extending the knees, good, before bringing that barbell down. Next one, his elbows in this position are not clearly in front of the barbell. Good, and then bouncing. That would be a no rep as well. Standards for our thruster. We must go below parallel, so hip crease must go below knee crease. Also at the top of the thruster, there must be extension with the hips, the knees, and the arms. The barbell must end directly over or behind the body. They are not permitted to be in front. And a squat clean is allowed for the thruster to start the rep, but it is not required. So Coach Nick's gonna show a couple of good reps of your thruster. Squatting below parallel, coming up, extending hips, knees, and elbows at the top, barbells directly over the body. Then a couple of no reps would be either squatting to or above parallel, lowering the barbell before we get extension of either arms, hips, or knees, and then finishing with the barbell out in front of us, not directly or behind the body. So try and show us a couple no reps here. So he's squatting to, parallel. Good, not extending fully before bringing that barbell down. And then ending with the barbell out in front versus directly over the body. All right, so a few notes and tips here, guys, for this workout. The tie break time, your judge is going to write down your time at the end of each set of thrusters. So your last completed set of thrusters, that would be your tie break time. For some tips and strategies on attacking this workout, a couple of things. We want to pace everything from the start. Even that first set of burpees, we want to make sure that we're controlling our heart rate as much as possible. Using the standard to our advantage of not having to do the 2-foot takeoff, use that to your advantage, right? Get that hop over the barbell. Also using in that step in and out method is going to help control that heart rate just a little bit more. When we do that step in and step out, just make sure the leg that is furthest away from the barbell is the one that's going to be stepping in, so that way you can get right into that jump over the barbell. Another thing for the burpees, you do not have to show a full extension for these burpees, so try and stay nice and low to the ground with each rep. If possible, muscle cleaning that first barbell weight might be the way to go, so that way we clearly are getting the extension and our elbows through on each rep, and it will make it just a little bit faster for that first weight. Breaking up the cleans maybe into 2 sets, and then the thrusters, breaking those up into 2 to 3 sets is going to be the best way to go. If at any point your rests are becoming too long, just hit all singles in this workout and get through as much as we can. For the thrusters, make sure that we're taking that nice deep breath at the top with each rep as well. When we are resting, we want to make sure that we're standing up when we're resting. I know it's easy to go down to the knees. However, we want to get in as much air as we can. Once we go down, get those hands on the barbell and pick that barbell right up. Guys, have a great time with this one and close out the this year's Open strong.